1.3 Animal types. Now, we know more about the different habitats on Earth, and especially in South Africa. We also know that animals and plants depend on each other and on their habitat. Let's look at the different types of animals that live on Earth. Grouping animals. When we group similar things together, it is called classifying. When classifying animals, there are generally two main groups of animals: those who have bones inside their bodies with a backbone, and those who do not have bones inside their bodies. First bullet point: animals with a backbone are classified as vertebrates. Animals without a backbone are classified as invertebrates. By Activity 1G, Classifying Animals. A radiographer takes X-rays of people and animals to see the bones inside their bodies. Tracy, a radiographer, took some interesting X-rays of 5 animals. Carefully look at these X-rays and decide which animals are vertebrates. So that would be the ones with skeletons inside their bodies. That would be the dolphin, the dog, and the goose. Why can't you see bones inside the crab or the grasshopper? Because they have an exoskeleton, which means their skeleton is on the outside of their bodies. What do we call animals such as the grasshopper and the crab? We call them invertebrates because they do not have a skeleton inside their body, and then you can also say it's also called an exoskeleton because their skeleton is on the outside. Study the animals from Activity 1F to see if they are vertebrates with bones inside their bodies or invertebrates without bones inside their bodies. So if you go back to 1F, you will have to write down the following. The rhino, the dog, the bird, and the fish are all vertebrates because they have skeletons inside their bodies. The worm is the only one that does not have a skeleton inside the body. When scientists realized that they could group the animals in two main groups, they went even further and started grouping them into smaller groups within the two main groups. Look at the illustration in your book and the one that I've printed out for you. We get mammals, sponges, jellyfish, worms, mollusks, starfish, arthropods, fish, amphibians, reptiles, and birds. So the green would all be vertebrates that would be animals or, like people, would have skeletons inside their bodies. But the blue is invertebrates that do not have a skeleton inside their bodies. Have a very good look, see which animals fall under which group. Let's have a look at the invertebrates and the vertebrates. So the invertebrates are animals that do not have an endoskeleton. So that means a bony skeleton inside their bodies. Some have hydroskeletons and others have exoskeletons. So a hydroskeleton would be a very soft, fleshy outer side, where an exoskeleton will be like the crab, a very hard outer body skeleton. So a hydroskeleton, these soft-bodied animals mostly have what we call a hydroskeleton. For example, animals with hydroskeletons are sea anemones, earthworms, jellyfish, some starfish, and even sea urchins. Animals with such a body often need to live in or near water or damp soil. Their skins are often thin and moist because they breathe through their skin. Invertebrates that have a tough, hard covering over their soft bodies have an external skeleton called an exoskeleton. So hermit crabs have very soft bodies, unlike the rest of the crab and lobster families. The hermit crab searches for empty shells to live in. When the crab becomes too big for the shell, it will search for a bigger shell. Many invertebrates have a shell covering their bodies to protect them. Just look at the pictures. So, underneath the starfish, can you see little legs sticking out of the endoskeleton? That means the inner side of it is very mushy, but the outside is hard. Seashells protect their soft bodies with their shells. A hermit crab hiding in a hard shell that you can see there. And then the hermit crab now decides to climb off. We stay at the sea, so you guys have seen these crabs all over the beach. Insects are an interesting group of invertebrates. All insects have exoskeletons. They all have segmented bodies and legs. That means their bodies and legs are made up of different sections. Insects have 6 legs and 3 main body parts: a head, a thorax, which is their chest, and a tail, which is their abdomen. Paste Activity 1H and onto the questions that follow. Vertebrates are animals that have a skeleton inside their bodies, also called an endoskeleton. Part of their skeleton is a backbone, which consists of vertebra and a spinal cord. Inside the spinal cord, there are nerves which guide messages to the body. Vertebrates are broken down into 5 smaller groups. Fish, amphibians, including frogs, reptiles, birds, mammal. Vertebrates can grow much larger than invertebrates because their bones grow with them and then can support their muscles. Page Activity 1I, Identifying Common Characteristics. Answer the questions on your own. Paste the query 1J and listen to the explanation before you start filling in the answers. An exoskeleton is a hard outer covering found on the outside of an animal's body, while an endoskeleton is a skeleton found inside the body. Animals with exoskeletons include insects, crabs, and spiders, while animals with endoskeletons include humans, dogs, and giraffes. The skeleton in both types helps to support the body, protect important organs, and allow movement. In an exoskeleton, muscles attach to the inside of the hard outer shell, while in an endoskeleton, muscles attach to the bones. Joints in both types of skeletons allow movement, but they are structured differently depending on the animal. Both types of skeletons help animals move in different ways, such as walking, running, flying, or swimming. Once you are done with the activity, please summarize the key concepts in your book. Case Study Revision. Please do the study revision on your own and bring it to me for marking. Lesson 2. Animal Skeletons. 2.1 Skeletons of Vertebrates. Please sum up the following in your book. Vertebrates are animals that have a skeleton inside their bodies. This skeleton is called an endoskeleton. The skeleton includes a backbone made up of vertebrae. The backbone protects the spinal cord. The spinal cord carries messages between the brain and the body. The skeleton supports the body and gives it shape. It also protects important organs such as the brain, heart, and lungs. The skeleton works together with muscles to allow movement. Vertebrates are divided into 5 groups: fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Their bones grow as they grow, which allows them to become larger than invertebrates. The backbone is a long row of bones in your back that helps you stand upright and protects your spinal cord. The skull is the hard bone in your head that protects your brain and gives your face its shape. The spinal column is another name for the backbone and is made up of many small bones called vertebrae. The ribs are curved bones that form a cage around your chest to protect your heart and lungs. The shoulder blades are flat bones at the back of your shoulders that help your arms move and connect your arms to your body. You now know that all vertebrates have bones inside their bodies and a spine, while invertebrates have no bones at all. Every time a vertebrate animal moves, it uses its bones, joints, and muscles. In this section, we are going to study the bones, joints, and muscles that help vertebrates move. First, we're going to look at the bones. Bones are hard and form very strong frame structure to support and protect a vertebrate animal's body. Vertebrates all have similar kind of bones. Some are much bigger than others, but the basic structure of the bones of every vertebrate are similar. Inside the body, you get different kinds of bones. Please draw these bones and name each one: the long bone, the short bone, irregular bone, and the flat bone. Long bones are long and strong and help with movement, for example, the femur. Short bones are small and help with stability, for example, the wrist bones. Irregular bones have unusual shapes, for example, the vertebrae. Flat bones protect important organs, for example, the skull. Now that you know where all the bones in the body are, you're probably wondering what exactly each bone's job is. So let's find out. Paste Activity 2B and answer the questions. Here is an explanation of question 2. Long bones. These are found in your arms and legs. Example: the bones in your thighs and upper arms. Short bones. These are found in your wrists and ankles. They help with small movements. Flat bones. These are found in your skull, ribs, and shoulder blades. They help protect important organs. Irregular bones. These are found in your spine. They have different shapes and help protect the spinal cord. With question 3, please take 4 different color pens and then write down, or with an arrow and L for long bones, S for short bones, F for flat bones, and I for irregular bones, and then label the cat skeleton, fish skeleton, and the frog skeleton. Now that you know how to identify the different kinds of bones in vertebrates, let's take a closer look at the functions of some of them. Interesting fact, a baby and an adult do not have the same number of bones. When a baby is born, the skull bones are not joined. The bones can move over each other to allow the baby to go through the birth canal. After birth, the skull bones start to grow together. Functions of the bones in vertebrate skeleton. Please write down the functions of the skull as explained in your book. Number 1, the skull. The vertebrate skull is made up of different bones that grow together to form a protective box or shell structure. The skull protects the eyes and ears, nose and mouth. It protects the brain. The teeth and the lower jaw is also attached to the skull. Ask your teacher for the photos on the next page and see if you can guess which skulls who this belonged to. Remember to write the following down in your book. Number 2, the backbone. The backbone is made up of vertebrae. A hole runs through the middle of each vertebrae. The holes all line up to form a tube that the spinal cord lies in. The backbone has 2 function jobs. It protects the spinal cord and all the nerves inside it, and it supports the upper body. Look at the skeleton of the giraffe. What do you notice about the shape of the vertebrae in the neck and in the back of the giraffe, and those of human necks and bones? The giraffe also has 7 vertebrae in their neck, although they've got a way longer neck. We still have the same amount of vertebrae. The difference is the size and length of the bones. Write in your book, number 3, the ribs. Vertebrates have long curved bones around their chest called ribs. These ribs are joined to the backbone and often to the front to form the rib cage. In most vertebrates, the rib cage is around the chest area of the animal to protect their lungs, heart, and other important organs. In animals like snakes, the rib cage can protect and support the whole body. The breastbone in birds is much longer. The flight muscles are attached to it. Write the cell number 4, shoulder blades, arms, legs, and hip bones. Many animals' limbs are attached to their bodies at the shoulder or hip joints. However, not all animals have a hip or shoulder girdles. Think of fish and snakes. Muscles attach to the shoulder blades, and they control the movement of the forelimb or arm. The lower or back limb, or legs, attach to the body at the hips. Have a look at the different vertebrate limbs in your book. See how similar the limbs in the different animals look. 2.2 Movement in vertebrates. Write the 3 new terminology in your book. Ligament, a strong band that connects bones to each other. Tendon, a strong band that connects muscles to bones. Joint, a place where 2 or more bones meet and can move. Now that you know a little bit more about bones, let's see how animals use their bones, joints, and muscles to help them move. Vertebrate animals can move because of 2 really important things. They have joints between their bones that can let their bones move. Their muscles are attached to their skeletons. If you want to know how an animal moves, you need to know how their joints and their muscles work. Let's look at joints. Joints are the places where bones come together. They come together in a special way to allow the animal or human to move. Like at your elbow or wrist, there are different kinds of joints. In the picture, you'll see a knee joint. Can you see where they come together? How do the bones and the joints move? Look at the example of the moving arm. There are 2 muscles which enable your arm to move, your tricep and bicep. They work as a pair. To bend your arm, the bicep muscle contracts and pulls on the radius bone. Your arm then bends at the elbow joint. To straighten your arm, the tricep muscle contracts and pulls on the ulna bone, and your arm straightens. Look on the next page and summarize the key concepts. Paste your study revision and do the questions.